Andy, did you want to? No? Okay. Alan Bark will be followed by Rick Oldman.
Good afternoon. My name is Alan Bark. I have lived in Mission Beach for over 40 years. Thank you for this opportunity to address the Council on my increasing concerns regarding the proliferation of marijuana shops in the San Diego area. We are not here to discuss the pros and cons of marijuana. California's voters have decided that there is a need to make marijuana available for medical use. My concern is the incredible number of dispensaries and cooperatives mushrooming all over the city of San Diego, not to ease the suffering of those in pain, but as a semi-legal means of selling dope and to make money. One of these cooperatives recently opened near my home. The only customers I have seen entering this store have been young kids on bicycles or young adults arriving with a carload of their friends who wait in for them in the car while they purchase their merchandise, for their own private use, I'm sure. It is amazing how many young people there are in this city with medical conditions requiring the use of marijuana to ease their suffering. I understand the Council is debating whether to establish a task force to determine how to deal with the issue of medical marijuana distribution in San Diego. I don't believe that is necessary. Simply have the police enforce the laws and regulations regarding the distribution and use of medical marijuana, which were passed by the voters. If a dispensary or cooperative is complying with the law, fine. If not, close it down. It will be interesting to see how many are actually operating as nonprofit facilities specified in the law, supplying marijuana only to those in serious pain who truly need it, as the California's voters intended. Probably none. If we as a society decide that the sale and use of marijuana should be legal and unrestricted, it will. But for now, that is not the case. The cannabis shops opening up all over the city are simply illegal drug distribution centers. They should not have your support.
Next, have Rick Oldman. And Mr. Oldman, I believe you've been granted some time from, it's hard to read this, but Boisier Damari.
And I don't think I'm going to need all that time.
Gerald Damari.
Basically, he said most of what I need to say.
Okay.
You know, the deal is one of the things we have, and I'm not against medical marijuana either, if it's used legitimately. But that's not what's happening, and that's what he just indicated. You know, and you have to think about, as a cooperative, okay, well, they were supposed to grow their own or have their own system for producing their medical marijuana. You have to wonder where all this product is coming from. There's not acres and acres of land out here where marijuana is being grown legally in this state. So the product is coming from across the border. All right, and then it's going into these dispensaries, and then I was with the police about 2 weeks ago on one of their saturation patrols in PB, and they arrested a gentleman that put one of his cannabis medical marijuana stickers on their command post, and so they detained him and they got to looking. Well, this young gentleman in his 20s, had 5 medical marijuana cards in his wallet. So why does he need 5 medical marijuana cards? Because he can go into any dispensary wherever he wants, and he can get as much marijuana as he wants when he wants it. And then he doesn't, if he's not using it, he's taking it out to the schools and other locations and selling it. And in Pacific Beach, where I reside and am part of the city government there, we already have, to my knowledge here, we have 7, and I've told even 9 dispensaries that have come up in the last few months in Pacific Beach. Most of these are only a few blocks away from our middle school. We have smoke shops, which there is municipal code against, state code against the regulation of how you're to operate a smoke shop and the paraphernalia that they can sell. We have 17 of those in Pacific Beach. Again, probably a dozen or better of those near our middle school. You know, our neighborhood over in Pacific Beach is it's degraded. It's going down the toilet, and it's going fast. And if we continue to allow smoke shops, marijuana shops, we have 23 tattoo parlors. I can't imagine that they can all stay in business, but we have 23 tattoo parlors. So the neighborhood is just going down the tubes. And we need the town council or the city council here to come forth and make some regulations that make sense, that protect the residents and the kids. And that's what has to be done. I'm not in favor of a task force. It's going to take a year to do that. I think that there's laws on the books, and as people have stated here, that allow us to go ahead and move forward and take care of this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Oldham. Vern Gammon, followed by Patty Sharman.
My time limit's going to limit my ability to say everything that I would maybe want to say, but I do not now, nor have I ever, nor will I ever recommend any drug to anybody at any time for any reason. I'm not a doctor. I have a medical prescription, marijuana prescription. I don't give a damn about it. I don't ask permission from anybody for what I will put into my body. I have a background that nobody around here can touch. And if I was the federal attorney of Los Angeles, I would indict the City Council of Los Angeles for conspiracy and RICO before, during, and after the fact. This is a ongoing criminal organization, and I know what I'm talking about. If I was on this city council, I would never at any point sign any document tying myself to this unless I got blanket amnesty from any criminal action whatsoever. I wouldn't, if I was the chief of police or the mayor, I wouldn't walk in here and involve myself in this until the federal attorney general says to me that you will not be prosecuted for doing what you're doing. The idea that you are the FDA, the idea that you can regulate prescriptions, the idea, I'm in LA, sweetheart, and I see who's going in there, and I know the prices they charge, and my lifestyle gives me certain information that your task force is not going to get. My background, I'm a San Diego native, and I'm going to limit this. I don't know. It's like, there's some things I don't want to say. I'm telling you, if I'm on this city council, I would, without blanket amnesty, support anything whatsoever. Because the feds can. They might not, but they can.
Thank you, Mr. Gammon. Patty Sharman, followed by Rebecca Hernandez, and our last speaker will be Scott Chipman. Okay, Patty, Ms. Sharman, thank you. Rebecca Hernandez, and concluding will be Scott Chipman.
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to address you. I know you've heard from a lot of voices this afternoon. I'm Rebecca Hernandez, and I represent the local Safety Wellness Advocacy Coalition in the North County Inland area, which is Councilmember DeMaio's district. And we had many parents and faith community members and other community members that are gravely concerned over the proliferation of dispensaries. I understand there are 62 to 64 when I woke up this morning, which tells you it's changing daily. And that is double the amount since the council recess. That's an incredible proliferation. And that's an illicit drug available on our streets to the youth. I did attend the PSNNS meetings and remain unclear of the need for an advisory task force to develop and advise the City Council on new operational guidelines and law enforcement responses, since my understanding is that the Attorney General guidelines are already issued and the City Attorney has issued a third report describing what could be done and what should be done. But if a task force will be formed, please consider the current seats that would be filled as I understood them to be described at PSNNS. The task force would be comprised, first off, of 4 individual members who are clearly in support of marijuana for use as medicine, the use, access, and availability. It was named that there would be 3 patients and a dispensary or collective owner. That's over 1/3 of the voting voices. Undeniably,